John strikes me as the type of guy who's failed at just about everything he's ever done.
He strikes me as someone with a fragile ego.
You don't strike me as a man who makes very many mistakes.
You don't strike me as a surfer dude.
The phrase strike someone as means to give someone a certain impression or feeling. It's used when something or someone makes you think a certain way just by how they act or appear. If someone says, "He strikes me as confident," they mean that, just by looking at how he acts or talks, they get the feeling that he is confident. It's like saying, "He seems confident to me," even though he didn't directly say, "I am confident." Another example, that if someone says, "That strikes me as strange," they mean something seems odd or unusual to them. They got the feeling that something wasn't right, even if they can't explain exactly why. So, when you use strike someone as, you're talking about the feeling or impression you get from a person or situation without needing clear proof.
Before I proposed to Tiffany, I wanted to run it by my buddies that I played ball with at the local playground.
When I first had the idea, I ran it by her, and she was so happy for us.
Stealing a fucking
run it
phone?
by me if you're gonna be stealing stuff. You gotta
Run it by you.
Run it by me.
Okay, Nick, will you hold this for a second? What are you doing? Don't run. I'm not gonna run anything by you.
The phrase run it by means to quickly tell or show something to someone to get their opinion, approval, or feedback. It's like saying, "I want to check with you about this," or "Let me see what you think." For example, "Let me run it by my boss before we make a decision." This means you want to check with your boss to get their approval or thoughts before doing anything. Another example, "I'll run the idea by you later to see if you like it." This means you will share the idea with someone to hear their opinion or get their feedback. It's often used when you want someone's input or permission before moving forward with something.
I'm sorry that I strung you along.
My whole family really loved the last guy I went out with, and he strung me along for a year and then dumped me.
He's stringing you along, and the worst part is you're just letting him.
I didn't want to string you along. Let's just be friends.
The phrase string someone along means to mislead or deceive someone, usually by giving them false hope or making them believe something that isn't true. It's often used when someone is keeping another person waiting or uncertain, especially in situations involving relationships or promises. For example, he's been stringing her along for months, pretending he wants a serious relationship when he really doesn't. This means he is giving her false hope about the relationship without any real intention of committing. Another example, the company strung him along, making him think he'd get the job, but they never hired him. Here, the company kept giving him hope without any plan to follow through. It's usually seen as unfair or dishonest because the person is being kept in the dark or led on with false promises.
You better not pull a fast one tomorrow.
And he suspects that we were lying. He thinks we're trying to pull a fast one on the US government.
I can never tell if you're telling me the truth or pulling a fast one.
Our nanny's been out sick.
Again. We think she may be pulling a fast one.
You think she's pulling a fast one. I think she's just sick.
The phrase pull a fast one means to trick or deceive someone, often in a sneaky or clever way. It's used when someone manages to fool another person, usually without them realizing it until later. For example, he pulled a fast one on his boss by taking credit for the team's work. This means he tricked his boss into believing that he did all the work, even though it was the team's effort. Another example, "I can't believe she pulled a fast one on us and left without paying the bill." This means she tricked everyone by leaving without paying, and they didn't notice until after she was gone. It usually has a negative connotation, implying that someone acted dishonestly or slyly to get what they wanted.
Whoa, simmer down, guys. Just simmer down, calm down, all right?
Just simmer down, okay? We all have arguments, but if you're gonna fight, just do it inside.
Simmer down. Simmer down. Thank you. Okay.
Hey, everybody, simmer down.
The phrase simmer down means to calm down or relax, especially when someone is angry, upset, or overly excited. It's often used when emotions are running high and the person needs to settle down. For example, "You need to simmer down before we can talk about this calmly." This means the person should calm their emotions before having a productive conversation. Another example, after the argument, it took a while for him to simmer down. This means it took some time for him to relax and stop being upset after the argument. It's a casual way to tell someone to lower their emotional intensity.
Cough it up, Cooper.
Very well.
Now, cough up.
What?
20 quid.
Everyone dig deep down into your pockets and cough up some cash.
As soon as you got a job, you're going to be able to cough up some money to pay for the kids that you left me with, yeah?
The phrase cough up means to reluctantly give or hand over something, especially money or information. It's often used when someone doesn't want to give what's being asked for, but ends up doing it anyway. For example, he finally coughed up the money he owed me. This means he didn't want to pay, but he eventually gave the money. Another example, the police made him cough up the details about the robbery. This means he was forced to reveal the information, even though he didn't want to. It's an informal way of saying someone gave something up, usually under pressure.
I've never seen a power rating like this. You're literally... you're off the charts.
His math ability is off the charts.
These results are off the charts, James.
Your IQ scored right off the charts, Jeremy.
The phrase off the charts is used to describe something that is extremely high in quality, quantity, or intensity, so much so that it surpasses normal standards or expectations. It's often used when something is far beyond what's considered average or typical, like a score, performance, or popularity. For example, her energy during the concert was off the charts. This means her energy was incredibly high, way beyond what you'd expect, making the concert even more exciting. Another example, the number of people applying for the job was off the charts. This means there were an unusually large number of applicants, far more than expected. When something is off the charts, it's not just impressive, it's exceptional, and on a scale that goes beyond what most people would even measure. The phrase implies that whatever you're talking about is so remarkable that it breaks the usual boundaries or limitations. For instance, a test score that's off the charts means it's way beyond the maximum score or expected range.
People have problems in their marriages, they start a family, have a kid, and the problems get ironed out.
You iron things out with Beth?
I'll call you next week and we'll iron out the details. Okay?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Heather, my little sister. We need to iron out some wedding details.
The phrase iron out means to resolve problems, difficulties, or disagreements, especially by discussing them and finding a solution. It's often used when there are minor issues or misunderstandings that need to be fixed or clarified to make things run smoothly. For example, we need to iron out the details before signing the contract. This means you need to fix or finalize any small issues or unclear parts in the contract before agreeing to it. Another example, the team had a meeting to iron out their differences and work better together. This means the team resolved their disagreements so they could cooperate more effectively. The idea behind ironing out is like using an iron to smooth wrinkles in fabric, meaning you're clearing up problems or confusion to make everything neat and orderly.
Okay, I'll swing by.
Hey Bernie, my older sister's having a party this weekend. You should swing by.
Could you possibly swing by and see me for a few minutes this afternoon?
Hey, I'm having a team barbecue on Thursday. You should swing by.
The phrase swing by means to make a short, casual visit to a place, often without a lot of planning or for a quick stop. It's like saying you'll drop by or stop in for a moment. For example, I'll swing by your house later to drop off the book. This means you'll stop by someone's house for a short visit to deliver the book. Another example, why don't you swing by the office on your way home? This means you can briefly visit the office while you're passing by or on your way home. It's a relaxed way of saying you'll go somewhere quickly, often without staying for too long.
I know we didn't see eye to eye at school. Goodness knows I regret that.
So, why do you hate kids?
I don't hate kids. I just don't see eye to eye with them.
My lawyer and I, we don't see eye to eye on a few things.
You know, I wish we could have seen eye to eye on some things, Diane.
The phrase see eye to eye means to agree with someone or have the same opinion about something. It's used when two or more people are in complete agreement or share the same perspective on a topic. For example, we don't always see eye to eye on everything, but we work well together. This means that while they may not agree on everything, they still manage to collaborate successfully. Another example, they finally saw eye to eye on the project's direction. This means they reached an agreement and now share the same view on how the project should move forward. When people see eye to eye, they are on the same page, with no major disagreements. What does the idiom strike someone as mean? When something is described as off the charts, what does it mean? If someone pulls a fast one, what have they done? What does iron out mean? If someone says they will swing by your house, what do they mean? What does see eye to eye mean? If someone says, I'll run it by my boss, what are they planning to do? If someone coughs up money, what are they doing?